Introduction to Global Systems, Chapter 3, Section 1. Early astronomers made many scientific discoveries about the moon and space, but they also made many unexpected emotional discoveries when they saw Earth suspended in lifeless space. Astronomers were impressed with Earth's beauty, and they knew that our planet was covered with a thin skin of life that biologists call the biosphere. This biosphere includes all life on Earth, from underground bacteria to rainforest trees to ocean-going whales to airborne mold spores and all of the humans. All forms of life are tightly connected with their surroundings, so the biosphere includes everywhere life exists. Ecology is the study of our living planet, the scientific study of interactions among organisms and between organisms and their physical environment. The biosphere includes everywhere that life exists. All forms of life interact with each other and with their environments. Ecology is the scientific study of interactions among organisms, populations, and communities of organisms, and their effect on their environment, and of their responses to changes in their environment. The root of the word ecology is the Greek word oikos, meaning the house. Ecology is the study of nature's houses, organisms that live in those houses, and their interactions among organisms based on the energy and nutrients. Importantly, the root of the word is economics. Economics studies human houses and the interactions among peoples based on money and or trade and the energy and nutrients within those houses. So why study ecology? Although ecology studies nature's economy and economics studies human economy, those two fields developed interdependently. For much of history, that wasn't a global problem. Human populations were small and scattered. Our environmental impacts were local. In many cases, human economics could function more or less interdependently from nature's economy, or so people thought. Recently, we've learned that economics and ecology are actually tightly linked. As human populations have grown, and as power of our technology has increased, our impacts on local and global environments have also grown. Our world is changing around us largely because of human activity, including industrialization, auto-industrial emissions, and air pollution. As the effects of human-caused global change become more clear, some economists are discovering what biologists have known for years. Human economies depend on nature's economy. Healthy ecological systems provide essential needs such as drinkable water and fertile soil. We need to understand ecology so that we can design human economies that are sustainable. Levels of organization. Ecologists study organisms and their environments on several levels as shown in the next few pictures. Some ecologists study individual organisms, others study communities, ecosystems, or the entire biosphere. Ecological studies on a global scale are vital to the changing, sustainable course for humanity and the entire biosphere. The smallest of the level of organization is the species. The species is a group of similar organisms that can breed and produce fertile offspring. The next level is a population. Population is a group of individuals that belong to the same species and live in the same area. The next level is a community, and a community is an assemblage of different populations that live together in a defined area. The next level is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is all the organisms that live in a place together with their physical environment. The next level was a biome. A biome is a group of ecosystems that share similar climates and typical organisms. A biosphere is our entire planet, with all of its organisms and physical environments. To study such a wide range of systems and levels of organization, ecologists use many different tools and methods. Ecologists generally rely on three main approaches, all of which are part of the scientific methodology: observation, experimentation, and modeling. Many studies involve all three approaches, with ecologists using tools ranging from DNA analysis to gathering data from things as large as satellites. Observation. Observation is often the first step in asking ecological questions. Some observations are simple. Other observations are much more complex. If the questions are asked properly, they can lead to the development of a testable scientific hypothesis. Experimentation. Experiments are designed to test hypotheses. By gathering data to support or reject these hypotheses, some ecological experiments carefully monitor conditions in selected parts of natural environments. These experiments can be difficult to do because some variables, such as weather, cannot be controlled. Some ecologists may design artificial environments or large models to represent larger things on a global scale. Modeling. Many ecological processes, such as climate change, occur over long periods of time or occur over areas as large as our entire planet. Ecologists often make models to help them understand these phenomena. Many ecologist models consist of mathematical formulas based on data that have been collected through observation and experimentation. Useful models make predictions that lead to development of additional hypotheses. Those hypotheses in turn may lead to the design of new experiments to test them. Additional data may also lead to changes in models that improve their ability to make useful predictions. Biotic and abiotic factors. An environment has biotic and abiotic factors. When we talk about an organism's environment, we're referring to all the conditions and factors around the organism that affect it in any way. Traditionally, these factors have been divided into biotic and abiotic factors. Living things affect one another and are therefore parts of each other's environments. A biotic factor is any living part of an environment in which an organism might interact. Biotic factors are important to a heron, for example, which might include the fish the frogs it eats, predators that eat the herons, or other species that compete for them for food or space. But they also could include things like the trees, the leaves, the grass, or other plants in the environment. Abiotic factors are physical factors that also affect the organism. An abiotic factor is any non-living part of the environment, such as the sunlight, the heat, the precipitation, humidity, wind, or water currents, and soil type. For example, a herring could be affected by the abiotic factors such as water availability and quality, temperature, and humidity. The difference between abiotic and biotic factors may seem clear, but many so-called abiotic factors are strongly influenced by organisms, which means that they aren't entirely abiotic. Bullfrogs, for example, often hang out in soft muck along the shores of ponds. You might think the muck is a strictly abiotic factor because it contains non-living particles of sand and mud, but typically pond muck also contains decomposing organic material from plants and animals that live in and around the pond. Those remains decompose because they serve as food to bacteria and fungi that break down organic matter. That's a lot of biotic mixed in with the abiotic. Modeling global systems. A constantly changing mix of biotic and abiotic factors shapes the entire biosphere. So understanding how the biosphere works is challenging. One way to understand global ecology and both local and global change is to develop a model, like the one showed on this slide. The model will be constructed to show causes of global change, processes in Earth's global systems, and how these processes respond to the causes of global change. This model begins by identifying 4 global spheres: the biosphere, the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and the geosphere. Earth's 4 global systems are constantly interacting. The atmosphere includes all the gases that surround the Earth. The hydrosphere is all of the Earth's fresh water and salt water, including water vapor and rain in the atmosphere, water underground, and in the ice. The biosphere includes all the living organisms and the environment in which they live. The geosphere is all the usually solid stuff, like rocks, continents, and the ocean floor. Deep inside the Earth, portions of the geosphere that are also liquid. Our model has 3 main parts, each of which represent a category of ecological concepts and processes. We will be building a model step by step, adding icons to represent various phenomena as we describe them. The model's middle ring, labeled How Earth Systems Work, represents Earth's global systems, events, processes, and cycles within the biosphere, atmosphere, geosphere, and hydrosphere. This part of the model includes phenomena discussed within the entire chapter on global systems. This model also includes cycles of matter, energy flow, and interactions among organisms that we will discuss throughout the entire course. The model's outer ring, labeled Causes of Global Change, represents human activities and non-human events and processes that drive changes in the global system. The model's inner circle, Measurable Changes in the Earth System, contains the kinds of changes in global systems that scientists can measure. These measurements include changes in climate, sea level, air and water quality, and so on. We emphasize measurable changes to emphasize that these represent actual data, not hypotheses. Building and using the model. The Understanding Global Change model is the only way to show the interactions of all of Earth's global systems. How do we build and use the model? In this unit, you will learn about the events and processes and interactions. If that was all you learned, you'd be left with a list of facts to memorize, but no clear way to understand how facts relate to one another. To use an analogy, you would have many pieces of a complicated jigsaw puzzle. Without any idea of how those pieces fit together, it would also be difficult for you to relate individual events and processes to important cross-cutting concepts in biology as a course. That's where the Understanding Global Change model comes in. The model serves as an informative organizer. Whenever we discuss ecological events and processes, each will be assigned a visual symbol or icon. Some icons represent processes in Earth systems, other icons represent causes of global change. Still other icons represent measurable change. As you learn about these events and processes, you will add other icons to the model like they assemble in a puzzle. As you build the model, you will see how all these pieces fit together to make a picture of the way our planet operates.